This podcast is a 98 Studios production.
Today's the day, baby.
Today's the day.
Today's the day.
Today's the motherfucking day.
Today is the day.
Today's the day.
Today is the day.
Today's the day.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to Today's the Day with Zack Andersen. As always, I am excited to jump into the episode today. Before we get into the episode, I just feel like I don't even know how to explain it, a feeling that I need to go and mention the fact that there's obviously a lot of really, really dark things going on and sad things and heartbreaking things and conflicting things going on in the U.S. specifically. And obviously, with the Charlie Kirk incident happening so close to home, literally 10 minutes from here, and knowing a lot of people that were there, and just knowing that something so crazy and terrible could happen because of talking and because of sharing your opinion, just in general, there's a lot to go and feel heavy about. And with this situation, I've lost a lot of sleep realizing, holy crap, like someone mentally is to the place that they think the solution is taking someone else's life. It's crazy. My heart goes out to the Kirk family, everybody who was at that event. And yeah, it's heartbreaking. But there are two things that I want to talk about today, that I think honestly play a role in just where people can get as a community mentally, and ways to control it so it's a desired outcome. And it's never the outcome where you feel so conflicted and frustrated that you think the solution is to go and have violence or hate be the answer. And this wasn't planned to go over when something bad happened or anything like that. It's just, as I was thinking, like, what can I go talk about that could provide value? It's probably these few things. And I'm going to tie it. I'm going to probably leave all of the talk about those things over here. But I wanted to recognize it. I wanted to send my condolences. And I wanted to address it as well and give my stance of my belief that there is never anything that someone should say that should lead you to thinking that hate or death, frankly, killing somebody is the answer. So I wanted to mention that. Now that there's a couple things that I want to go and talk about, a couple principles that are really important to me, but I also want to go and point out, I talk to people every single day who are struggling with trying to get to the next level. And in most of the conversations where people come to me for coaching or mentorship, it's a conversation of, hey, I want to do more, accomplish more, be more, and accomplish these certain feats. And once I get there, I'm going to feel this certain way. And that's kind of the mindset people have going into success in business, finance, whatever it may be. It's, hey, once I go and I accomplish this certain thing, I'm going to go feel so fulfilled and so happy and so at peace and so secure and everything else. And I want to go and stress something that's actually not the truth. The way that it works is not that way. You don't go do the thing and accomplish it and then feel all of these feelings. And ultimately it's kind of crazy. And it's kind of like this dance in life, learning that we all do things or buy things or try and accomplish things, not because of what we're actually going to get from it, but because of the feelings we're going to feel once that thing's been obtained. And often, if we don't just pay attention to feeling that way in the moment, we don't get that feeling when we buy the thing. A lot of people go buy a really nice car because they think about the feeling of having that car and that pride, and then they go buy the car and it's an empty feeling. And other times you'll see people where they walk around their day-to-day life and they're fulfilled and they're excited and they're happy, and they may not be living what some people's standards are for success. And it's a really interesting concept and idea. And it's like, okay, like what ultimately controls us and gets us to these places? And the first one line, or the first thing that I want to go and touch on, and then I'll share experiences in my life where I've noticed the truth of it, is where focus goes, energy flows. It's the most simple one-liner. I've probably said it a million times on this podcast, but I want to go and like really, really hyper focus on that and explain what it means to me and the part it's played in my life, and the part it could play in everybody's life right now, especially with everything going on. And I've just seen it over and over and over, but I'll give an experience from my life and then things that I've seen as well. in my life, there have been periods of times in my life where I am winning more than I have ever won. And I am doing better than I've ever done in all these categories that feel so important. Financially, I'm winning. Production wise, we're winning. In my business, we're doing really well. The podcast is great. I have the best home life. Like, I'm winning in all these categories. But for some reason, I'm always in this like mood of it's maybe not I'm depressed, but maybe I'm scarce, and I'm in this scarcity mindset, and I'm so worried about losing here, losing there, and I'm so worried about not doing enough to be enough, and all of these different things. And it's really simple. Obviously, in the moment, it feels like life stopping and it feels crazy. But then as I slow down and I've realized, especially over the years, going through a lot of ups and downs, I've realized these times when I'm feeling the most unsettled and stressed and whatever, it's because I'm allowing my focus to go places that I don't necessarily want it by default. So I'm choosing to allow myself to focus on things that ultimately aren't going to give me the results that I want in my life and the feelings that I want in my life. And a really simple example of that even is the more I focus on quote unquote politics, like the more negativity I have in my life in general. And I think that's like the biggest thing that I've realized, especially recently, especially as things go on. It's like, dude, I need to be very particular with the things I choose to focus on. And every day, if I can choose to focus on the fact that I'm so blessed to live where I live, I'm so blessed to have the opportunities in my life, I'm so blessed to be as healthy as I am, I'm so blessed to have the friends and family that I do have. I'm so blessed in so many different ways. And the more I can spend my time focusing on those things, it sounds so simple. The happier I am and the more fulfilled I am. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. Journaling has been a really powerful tool for me. Writing down my goals, writing down a gratitude list has been a really easy way to focus on it. Saying things out loud, things that I'm grateful for. If the weather's nice that day and I just say it out loud to the people around me, that goes a long way and helps control and hone my focus in a certain direction that's only going to give me more good. And you attract the things that you think about. Right? Where focus goes, energy flows. Where you're focusing is where your energy is going to go. That's what you're going to attract into your life. So if you're always focusing on all of these things that could be viewed as negative, or you're choosing to make everything negative, you're going to feel that way a lot more than if you choose to focus on the things that'll give you the feelings you want to have in life. So that's kind of the first thing. And then the next thing that's a really, really, really important, I guess, philosophy in my life for me to understand, and it comes from Tony Robbins events, is the two things that control our lives. And there's a very in-depth understanding of these things. And I'm going to give you guys the surface level of the two things that control our lives, meaning they control what you do, how you feel, what you accomplish, etc. The first is your beliefs. Right? So what rules do you put in place for you to feel whatever emotion you're trying to feel? Those are your beliefs. What has to happen for you to feel the feelings you want to feel? You have beliefs around that. If I want to feel happy, I have to do this. That's a belief. If I want to feel fulfilled, I need to accomplish A, B, and C. That's a belief. So your beliefs. And then the second one is your values. So it's basically, what emotional states do you want to live in 24/7? What do you value? Do you value feeling fulfilled? And if so, what's your belief as to what you have to do to feel fulfilled? Do you value not feeling scared or not feeling vulnerable? Then what's your beliefs about what you have to do to avoid that feeling? So your values are the values that you want to avoid and the values that you want to feel on a day-to-day basis. And if you can create values and beliefs that really align with what you actually want, and you live by design through those things, you can go and create the most amazing life that's fully aligned for you. So some exercises that they talk, and again, this is very surface level. Some of the exercises they talk you through to go and understand this at a deeper level, and then even further to go apply this, is what's a value you want to feel. And a really easy example for me is like, dude, I want to feel fulfilled. Right? And it's like, okay, what rule do you currently have in place, or what belief do you have in place that is, if I do this, I will feel fulfilled? And you'll realize as you do this exercise, some of the feelings that we want to feel, we attach a belief to it that are so impossible to accomplish. Like, to feel fulfilled, I want to do this, and this before this age and at this time. And if I don't do it at this point, this big, I'm a failure and I'm not fulfilled. you make it so hard to feel these feelings that you want to feel. And on the flip, the feelings you don't want to feel, like most people don't want to feel helpless, right? But their beliefs in order to feel helpless are, hey, if I'm not in complete control of everything all the time, then I feel helpless. And they have these beliefs and these rules that are set in place that make it so easy to feel these negative emotions. So anytime I've done this exercise in my life where I don't feel totally aligned, it's been incredibly insightful for me to be like, holy crap. It's because I'm focusing on these values that I either do want to feel or don't want to feel. And for the really good values and emotions I want to feel, I'm creating these impossible rules that have to all be checked off in order for me to feel that. And on the opposite, these negative emotions I really don't want to feel, I'm making it so easy to feel that way. Like if one day I have an off day, then I'm a total failure. There's these beliefs that get created, and it's super interesting. And I think this is the perfect lesson for people to learn, especially in the midst of all the hustle culture. And it's interesting because a lot of people right now, I'm giving you guys a lot of opinions today. A lot of people shit on the hustle culture right now, and they want you to take a way more lackadaisical spiritual approach. And I truly believe that the answer is somewhere in the middle, because I think as you go and you find a way to be in flow and all of that, which is like some people view that as the opposite of the hustle culture, which is rah, 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 get it done, muscle through it. You go find the middle ground. I think that's where really, really amazing things happen. And I think what our generation is coming around to and realizing. So I think it's very, very, very important to get clear on your top values and make rules that make it super easy for you to feel good and super hard for you to feel bad. And if you think about it, this principle is really simple. Go make it really easy for yourself to feel the way you want to feel, and go make it really hard for yourself to feel the way you don't want to feel. And you're just going to automatically live every single day happier than you've been living. And then in addition to that, if you find yourself spiraling where I'll speak to everybody who lives in the United States right now that listens to these. If you get yourself to a point where you are consumed by negativity and how miserable your life should be and how horrible things are going in the country and the world and in your state and whatever, if you ever get to that place where it's all so hopeless, you're just focusing on way too many of the bad things, and you're not focusing on enough of the good things that are there to focus on, by the way. I'm not disregarding the fact that there's a lot of things wrong with the nation, but I'm 100% standing on the fact that I believe there's enough good to go focus on that you should overwhelmingly feel love and abundance and gratitude with a massive desire to make change for better, especially in whatever way you think that is, right? And that's my challenge to you guys. One of the most helpful things I've ever learned. I would love to do an episode that's very in depth about beliefs and values and how to create rules that make it really easy to feel the good emotions and rules that make it really hard to feel the bad emotions. But this is a surface level understanding I want you guys to have. And I think it's a very, very valuable lesson that I've learned and become more and more aware of throughout my life. So I hope that's helpful to all of you guys. For any of you guys that were there at that event at UVU, I hope you're doing okay. And my prayers go out to everybody who is involved and all of the family members and everybody out there, really. So you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, much love. Until next time.